We're going to continue with our media availabilities for the Coors Light Pole Award qualifying for the Cheez-It 355 at the Glen. We are now joined by our Coors Light Pole Award winner, AJ Allmendinger, driver of the number 47 Kroger Bush's Beans Chevrolet. AJ, you have now swept the Pole Awards on the road courses this year. Talk a little bit about what this means for you as you enter tomorrow's race.
Yeah, I mean, just obviously starting up front here is really critical. Be able to lead the field in turn one is always nice, but more importantly, just proud of my team, my crew chief Brian Burns, and everybody, my engineer Tony Palmer, Vince, our shock engineer, everybody on down the line. You know, yesterday it was not a smooth day. I felt like when we unloaded, we had a really good car, and I was pretty happy with it. And we went down a path throughout the course of the practices that just didn't work. And we were by the end of yesterday, I was pretty unhappy. I thought we were way off, and honestly, just really nervous about today and tomorrow. So my guys went to work. They kind of looked at the notes and looked at last year, looked at our best run in the first practice, and made some good calls on it. And you know, I didn't know what to expect going into qualifying. So after that first lap in the first round, was pretty happy with how the car felt and the speed that it showed from compared to yesterday.
We'll start taking questions. We'll come right up here to the front.
I mean, Kyle, you can come sit down if you want, man. Yeah.
There's a microphone right next to you.
Yeah.
Don't you have a race going on or no? Are you racing this race? Oh, okay, yeah. Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, Dean McNulty, Toronto Sun. How you doing, AJ?
Good.
Listen, the second time in a row this year, pole on a road course. You've always been seen as a guy who is good on these kind of things. What is it in the last 12 months that has moved you right to the top of the heap?
I mean, my guys, they built a great race car. You know, last year winning this race gave us a lot of confidence, and you know, they really went to work on making sure that this car, it's the same car as last year, same car we ran at Sonoma, but they put a lot more work into it to over the winter to make sure, you know, it's lighter. We got the right tools that we needed in the car to make it faster. You know, that's what's tough about this series, just like any other series. You know, you always got your top teams that are constantly updating their cars, making them better on the engineering side of it. So, you know, they've just done a good job to go out there and make this race car better. You know, for me, I think it's, you know, kind of just looking at how I've used to run these races in the past, and obviously last year winning the race, kind of how I managed that race a little bit different. You know, at Sonoma, same deal, just kind of how I drive that racetrack, just constantly trying to learn and be better. You know, that's something that I'm always trying to do is just figure out how to be better. It's tough sometimes in the series, especially on the ovals, because even if you're going out there and feeling like you're doing the right things to try to be better, sometimes the speed or the results don't show it, and that's hard. And but just trying to keep working hard. The guys at the shop, you know, the season hasn't been the greatest season in general when it comes to results, but I think at least our communication, our progression of where our race cars are at compared to this time last year are way ahead of last year. So, you know, we're making gains on it. We still got a long ways to go, but we're definitely making gains on it. And, you know my background. I've always loved road course racing, and I just enjoy it. You know, I feel like a driver can go out there and make more of a difference on these types of racetracks, and kind of relish that and try to do that.
We are also joined by Kyle Larson, who has qualified 6th for tomorrow's race in the number 42 Target Chevrolet. Kyle, can you take us quickly through your run out there today?
Yeah, it was a decent qualifying effort for us. I was hoping to be a little bit better. Yeah, barely made it through the first round without having to run a second lap, and then the second round, my first lap, I felt like I nailed every corner until I got to 6. I overdrove 6, and then got really loose into 7. So we cooled our car down and made another run, and was able to pick up, I think, a 10th and gain a couple spots. So yeah, happy that we were able to gain spots with hot tires, and just coming down pit road and going right back out basically. But also disappoints you because makes you think if you'd have just hit 6 and 7, it probably would have been a good lap. I don't know if it definitely probably wouldn't have beat AJ, but it might have been a top 3 run.
All right, we'll continue with questions for both AJ and Kyle. We'll continue over here.
Kyle Magda, Race Chaser Online, your left, guys. First is for AJ. What is it about this place that adapts to your driving style? You ran well here at Richard Petty Motorsports, and then taking the victory with JGR last year.
Man, JGR, that'd be an interesting.
JTG
yeah.
Racing. Yeah.
I don't think
Got a little
that's-
tongue
I
twisted
think that's
there.
the one team I haven't driven for yet. So yeah, no, no, it's I've always liked this place. I feel like you can be more aggressive. At Sonoma, it's a real finesse racetrack. You got to even if your car's good, you're always so worried about burning the rear tires off it, and it's a tough place. So it's taken me a few years at Sonoma to really learn how to drive this place. I feel like Watkins Glen is almost kind of back to my champ car days. You can be more aggressive with the car here. Kind of drive it in the corners deeper and use the brakes more, stuff like that, kind of like you would with the champ car. So I've just adapted to this place kind of right away. So it's a place I've always enjoyed. The fan base that comes out to this race is huge, and it's just a fun weekend all the time.
And then for Kyle, did that fourth place finish coming back from the lap down give you a little bit of confidence coming into this year's race and showing the speed that you have this weekend so far?
Yeah, it was it's been a lot smoother weekend than last year was. I was probably the most mad I've ever been at myself leading up to Sunday last year, even halfway through the race. And then I learned a lot of things actually throughout the race last year, and was able to drive up to fourth. And then it showed coming back. We had a lot of speed in practice yesterday, both in qualifying and race trim. And then even Xfinity, we were both really good. So, I just think all the experience I gained last year running double duty really helped, coming back again for this year. Thanks.
Steve Ovens, Race Chaser Online for both drivers. You talk about making improvements here at this race course. What is one area of the track that you've had to make the most improvements on?
I think this place is kind of interesting when it comes to qualifying, because I feel like you really got to nail the first half of the racetrack to have a good shot at a really good lap. That's something. Both of my runs, I got through the S's and I knew that I had got through them pretty good, and then got through the bus stop, and from there it was kind of like managing the rest of the lap. In a race, it's almost kind of opposite. It's tough to pass once you get through the S's. If you really get a good run on a guy, you can kind of stuff it down into the S's, but we've seen many a times here, it doesn't usually come out very pretty when that happens. So, just trying to work on the back half of the racetrack. But, everything's important. You gotta, to me at least, with my car, just figure out where the weakness and where the strengths are and try to not hurt the strengths and help the weaknesses, and just try to focus on that for the race. And, this place doesn't use up tires as bad as a place like Sonoma, but if you get too aggressive, you definitely can burn the tires off. So just trying to be easy as possible on it at all times.
For myself, like last year, I had to learn, how to get through the bus stop and, carry speed through there as well, through the carousel. That seems to be where all your, S's, bus stop, and then carousel is where all your lap time's at. And this year, I just feel like I've gotten better up through the S's. I feel like I was good in the bus stop, last year, and then I feel like I'm a lot better through the carousel this year for whatever reason. I think you have more room to run off on the exit of the carousel, so it's a lot easier to carry speed there. But like AJ said, every corner is important when you go to a road course. It's just you're trying to get your car to handle right or close to right in all the corners.
Do we have any final questions for Kyle? We have to let him head out to driver meeting. We'll do one final question for Kyle here. Is it for Kyle? Anything else for Kyle? All right, Kyle, we'll let you head out to driver intros. Thanks for making the quick change and coming in here. Thank you. All right, we'll continue with questions for AJ.
Bob Benz, Corning leader. AJ, yesterday you spoke about the greater confidence you have with your team and just kind of getting comfortable with them. Was today, going from where you were yesterday to today, a pretty good example of the level of trust you've gained in them and trusting they'll make the right adjustments to get you where you are right now?
Yeah, it's they had to pump me up yesterday for sure. I was pretty down after the second practice. The whole second practice was we just didn't. I was overdrive. I wasn't good yesterday. Let's put it that way. And I got frustrated from it. And we sat down after and really debriefed and kind of picked through everything throughout the course of the day and said, this is what is good and what's bad. Having the RCR Alliance is big. We all sat down together as a whole group and kind of talked about what was good and what was bad. We learned a couple of things there. So overall, it was it was a strong day going into today to see the changes that we made and have that much speed. Rarely do you kind of lead the sessions by over a tenth, which, I mean, doesn't sound like a lot, but in the Sprint Cup Series, that's a big gap. So I'm just proud of those guys. Brian Burns, every day he gains more confidence and he gets better. And I think as a group we work together better. And in the past maybe we would have it might have ruined the rest of the weekend. But once we kind of sat down and debriefed it, I felt like the direction we were going was the right direction. We just happened to go the wrong direction yesterday. So today was pretty cool, especially after the first run. I came off of 11 in my first run and kind of said to myself, like, if this isn't fast, I don't know what is, because it felt that good. So it was confidence building to see once I popped up to P1. So, hopefully we just we do the right things tomorrow and give ourselves a chance. That's all we can do. If we make the right decisions and gives ourselves a chance to win and it's meant to be, then great. And if not, well, it's not our day. But guys did a great job from yesterday to today.
Go to the back, and then we'll come up here to Brant and Lee.
Dan Fates, WNY Sports. AJ, just talk a little bit about the weather today and the conditions and how it made you run so well, and everybody ran pretty well today.
Yeah, I mean, just, this track's definitely heat sensitive. When the sun comes out, it gets that track temp hotter than with this old pavement. I think that's more sensitive to when the sun comes out and it starts getting hot. I was kind of surprised yesterday because I thought the sun had popped out for the second practice, but actually the track temp stayed the same. So it's more, I wouldn't say it's it's just track temp sensitive. So once it gets hot, it gets really slick. And once the cloud cover kind of came over, I watched the Xfinity qualifying and saw how fast Joey went compared to where he was yesterday in that car and thought, okay, this track's got a decent amount of speed in it. So I was a little surprised when the first group of cars went out. I think Kyle initially was quickest at like a 69.4, which is kind of where he was yesterday. I thought it'd be a little quicker, so I picked up 4/10, and that gave me confidence to say, all right, we found some speed in this car. It's not due to the track. So, and then once the cloud cover came over for the second run, I thought times were going to be a little quicker. So I knew I needed probably at least not stay the same with the lap time I ran, get a little quicker, and the way the lap times work, I had to be a little quicker. So it worked out well.
Can you bring the microphone over here? Oh, you got one.
Brant James, USA Today Sports. Have you gotten any sense of how you perform here must be ramping up the anxiety for the winless guys in the chase grid?
I mean, I can't comment on that. My goal is to knock one of those guys out. I mean, that's what it all comes down to. We did the same thing last year, and I mean, it's all I can do is go out there and try to be at my best. I put so much pressure on myself, and I have a lot of ups and downs when it comes to inside me about feeling like I'm being at my best because I just don't want to let my guys down. So, my goal is to go win a race and cause a lot of frustration on other drivers when it comes to how the chase works out. But, I don't even look at the chase. The chase is a non-factor to me. I know the goal is if I win, it puts us in. That's great. So the ultimate goal is to go win, and the rest will take care of itself. And, I can't worry about what anybody else does.
Go to Lee.
What did you learn last year in the chase that if you do get back there that you'll improve on for this time around?
I mean, I think we'll our equipment, if we get into the chase, no matter what, our equipment's going to be better at the end of the year. Last year we had it was trying to kind of piece together and get our best fleet of cars going into the chase. And this year, we got last week was a new car. Next week will be a new car. I think we got one more new car coming. So we'll have good equipment no matter what happens in this race or the rest of the year, just to be better at the end of the year. And just when it comes to the chase format, it's just Ryan Newman's perfect example. You don't have to be the best team in general, but Ryan did a fantastic job, and RCR, they did a great job of not doing anything bad, and he just made it to the next round and made it to the next round. And in the end, all you got to do is be better than three other teams when you get to Homestead. It's you can take a lot from how they played it out, but that's way down the line. We got 90 laps tomorrow to worry about it.
Zach Catan's Ready Lemons Racing. Michael McDowell called the Racing Champ cars the most fun cars he's driven. Do you agree, or have you found that the stock cars are more suit for you?
Man, the Champ cars back in the day when I was running it and when he got the opportunity to run a couple of races, they were pretty amazing. You know, to have those turbocharged motors and some of the venues we went to be racing in the streets of Surfers Paradise, Australia, Toronto. You know, those street course races, airport runways, places like Cleveland, Edmonton. That's something unless you do it, you really don't experience and understand how awesome it is to be racing a car that's doing 190 through streets that are made for 35 miles per hour. So that was a lot of fun. You know, I really enjoy these cars. It's a different type of racing. You know, the Sprint Cup Series, any given day, you know, you can have 20 drivers have an opportunity to win a race, and you know you got to be on your A game no matter what place you go to just to run inside the top 15, top 10, let alone win a race. So that makes it a lot of fun, and I love racing the Rolex 24 hours. You know, the 9 or 10 years that I've been with Michael Shank to be driving those cars. This past year, running that Ligier, that thing was awesome. So they're race cars. They're fun to drive. Everyone's unique in its own way, and you know what makes it fun is winning. You know, when you're not winning, they all suck, honestly. So that's what it comes down to. If you're running well, it makes it a lot of fun.
Do we have a final question for AJ?
It's not me. You're making her run. So.
Not surprisingly, with as many Chevys that are in the field, you know, you expect Chevys to be the dominant car. But I mean, today it was like, you know, the top bunch all in there. I mean, I think there were only like a Ford and a Toyota that made the, you know, transferred over. Has Chevy worked particularly on this? I mean, obviously, you know, you're kind of the class of the field when it comes to road course racing, but have you seen an extra support from Chevy in the road course programs?
I mean, I don't think so. I think it's. I mean, there's so many good drivers in different types of manufacturers, but you know, you just look at it, and as you said, there's a lot of Chevys. There's more Chevys in the field than there is any other manufacturer, and you look at who are in those Chevys, and a lot of them are great road course drivers in general. So, I think to me, that's what plays it out. I don't think. You know, teams put a lot of emphasis on every race now. So I don't think there's any more emphasis or any more help from Chevy in that direction. It's just there's some more teams and there's a lot of great road course drivers that are in those cars that run Chevys.
All right, AJ, well, thanks for joining us, and good luck in tomorrow's race.
Thank you.